violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right, guys, so I did want to read this article because it has come to my attention that people in New Orleans are leaving in droves, right? They are tired of the crime. They are tired of these super gremlins on demon time. And, you know, they're looking for a change, but ultimately they're looking for peace. So we do have this story of a woman, a small business owner, Jamie Peacock, from New Orleans. She is a mother of two, and she actually has left the city because she's tired of the crime. She's tired of these super gremlins. So you could consider this white flight, right? Could consider this white flight, but it is not for racially motivated reasons. I mean, it may seem like it because those are the cats who are doing the crimes, but she's moving to be safe. But people would categorize this as white flight. I just wanted to make that point. So anyways, let's get into it. Toward the end of May this year, my living nightmare happened. Our teenage son and his friends were enjoying a Sunday afternoon at a fast food restaurant when gunfire broke out. It's the kind of moment that felt like the last straw. But we didn't even get that kind of satisfaction. New Orleans issues had convinced us to move almost 2 years earlier. We were literally packing up. The apathy surrounding that shooting was frustrating. It felt as if no one cared that our kids' lives were endangered or that shooting had been so normalized as to be unworthy of note without a body bag. It was hard to get information about it from the New Orleans Police Department, despite the parking lot being cordoned off and an ambulance being there. I was assured that many shootings don't get reported on, and even people we knew seemed to brush it off. It had long become a series of dark jokes in our own household. Oops, ran a red light. I'm sure the cops will be all over that after they get done responding to all the grisly shootings. Okay, and an ad. Or maybe when we're out of town. Don't accidentally run a red light here. They have resources to respond to violent crimes and enforce traffic laws. As my husband and I pondered the decision to leave, we tried to think of what we could do, what we could change. If this seemed like a single failure, a bad police superintendent, a corrupt business interest, etc., then maybe we could overlook it or stand up to that one issue. But over time, the crime seemed like merely a symptom of systematic failures, resource deficiencies, dark histories, and finally, endemic despondency. This is not systematic failure. Okay, maybe resource deficiencies and the fact that they're mishandling the resources. And shout out, you can thank Mayor Latoya Cantrell for that. But this is purely the work of these super gremlins on demon time. I think city leaders genuinely care, but are at best chronically unfit and or under-resourced to do anything about it. Regardless of the residents of New Orleans need to be prioritized more than tourists. In many ways, it feels like the leaders of New Orleans only worry about the suffering of the citizens to the extent that it doesn't disturb the flow of visitors. We didn't pack up after almost a decade because of a lost job, a new opportunity, or even the May shooting that continued to haunt our oldest son amid the fireworks of the 4th of July. We packed it up because this place drained us bit by bit of hope, the hope that maybe all this trauma will have been worth it. It wasn't. Jamie Peacock is the mother of two and a small business owner. She and her family moved from New Orleans to Arizona in June. New Orleans, like Jamie Peacock, have shared how the rise in crime has changed their lives and their routines, their suggestions for what city leaders should do, and their assessment of how these leaders have handled the situation so far.
High-ranking member of the New Orleans Police Department is leaving the force.
The source says Deputy Superintendent Paul Noel will leave the NOPD to become police chief in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Wow. So, it looks like not only are the citizens of New Orleans leaving, but the police leadership are leaving as well. And Knoxville is kind of heating up. You know, I would say that it is kind of heating up with demon time activities. But maybe he thinks there's more hope for Knoxville than New Orleans.
And as David Jones reports, some worry replacing police leaders won't be easy.
And these were the best we had. He made a name for himself, a national name, not only a local name. There are a few things that would be almost impossible to replace.
LSU health criminologist Peter Scharf says Noel's departure will leave a huge hole in the ranks of NOPD leadership. The 25-year veteran of the force worked his way up in the department, starting as a patrol officer before rising to become deputy superintendent.
There are a lot of young sergeants, lieutenants, line supervisors, captains who adored Paul. And they respected him professionally. And the risk is now that a trickle will turn into a flood.
Yes, and he is absolutely right. And this is not only in New Orleans. This is pretty much all of the liberal main cities. And the excuse that most leaders are making when they see a massive exodus in the police force, like we heard in New York from Mayor Eric Adams, is it's a great opportunity to diversify the force, when in all actuality, diversifying not just the force, but the leadership is the reason why we're in this situation in the first place.
And we'll lose our leadership capacity. And it could take years to rebuild, or you could never rebuild them.
Noel would become the fourth high-ranking member to exit the police department in recent months. Just last month, Special Operations Commander Daryl Albert went to Montgomery to become Chief of Police. French Quarter District Commander Jeff Walls left in December to become Police Chief in Ketchikan, Alaska. John Thomas, second in command, also left in December to take a job as the director of the city's Department of Homeland Security. Scharf says Noel brought a different approach to NOPD, one focused on analytic, thought-driven policing.
We're talking about retaining patrolmen. But if your leadership leaves, that sends a message down the pike.
So the morale issue is longer and deeper than a momentary crisis that we have right now in some parts of the country.
Former Police Superintendent Ronald Serpis says it's a positive reflection on the department to have leaders like Albert and Walls take chief positions in other cities.
The challenge here for Chief.
Whoa. So he straight overlooked the fact that they're leaving because of maybe political influences within the police department. He looked over all of that and said, oh, well, it's an honor that they're going to take leadership positions in other cities. As if he's okay with losing these pivotal pieces to the police department. I mean, it's, you know, like the woman said in the last article, the apathy. It's giving apathy.
Ferguson, and I know he's completely up for this, is he's got to keep identifying new talent. He's got to keep identifying those people who can be groomed and be successful for his.
And, you know, from what we've seen from Chief Ferguson, I'd say like November, December 2021, I was kind of on his side, but now I see that he is also part of the problem as well.
His leadership team, and as well as potentially other cities' leadership teams.
Noel's departure comes at a time when New Orleans is facing a violent crime wave. Already this year, the city has seen 90 homicides, and violent crime is up year over year across the board, according to statistics from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. We reached out to both the mayor's office and NOPD. Neither returned our requests for comments. The official announcement is expected tomorrow.
The NOPD says murders may be trending in the right direction. Superintendent Sean Ferguson says there have been 14 homicides so far this month. Last July, there was a total of 23. Ferguson also says that...
But New Orleans has the highest murder rate per capita out of any major city in the United States. And he's saying, oh, murders are trending in the right direction. That's because they was probably chilling this month. It was chilling, you know. Maybe those 4th of July meals kind of held them over for a little bit. Okay, them 4th of July meals held the super gremlins over. They caught the Odysse, but they still got to eat. And I can guarantee that they're going to be hungry as a mug during August.
The department's solve rate for murders is above the national average, but he says manpower is still a significant problem. He addressed one case from last Friday night when an officer simply walked away from the job.
He abandoned his post, more or less. It's one thing when you're resigning and you turning your equipment. That did not occur. This officer absolutely just walked away from the position.
So like I said, mass exodus, they're just quitting like on the spot. They don't care about no benefits they might be losing. They don't care about no 401k. Sheesh.
Ferguson says he hopes the recently passed bonuses for officers will attract and keep more on the force. He also says the department will soon begin its lateral program to hire and train officers from other departments in the state.
The day where it was only me who showed up. I was the only officer who showed up, was me and the supervisor, but there was 3 of us. That's actually a really good day.
Tonight, hear from a now former NOPD officer and why he walked off the job last Friday night in the middle of his shift policing the French Quarter and CBD. Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Liz Reyes. Tonight, as New Orleans deals with a police shortage, the NOPD chief says the focus should be on recent arrests instead of how many police officers are on patrol.
However, as Caitlin Rust reports, one former NOPD officer says the manpower shortage puts officers at risk, and that is why he quit.
I think there was almost 40 calls holding, meaning 40 people had called 911 and were waiting on police.
Third year.
Wow. He said he was fed up. He said he was fed up. And Chief Ferguson tried to categorize it in a whole nother way. And although maybe the way that he walked off wasn't the best way, people are fed up and they don't want to be a part of this stuff no more. Okay? So I respect his decision to walk off and just say, F it, man. If y'all don't care, I don't care.
Officer Scott Fanning told his supervisor that he quit and went home in the middle of his 8th District shift Friday night. He says it just clicked.
There was about 35 patrol officers logged in the whole city.
That's about 1 officer per 10,000 people. He says there were just 3 on shift in the 8th District, and that's become normal.
What are you going to send one officer to a high priority call by himself? And I guess that is, I don't know if that's what's expected but that's what was happening. That from my experience, that's what was going on, and that's just not worth it. It's not worth your life. There shouldn't be that.
So they're sending one officer to a high intensity situation. They're getting a high volume of calls, and they're just, after you hit the 34th call, hit 35th, right?
A few officers with as much crime that happens there.
He abandoned, as far as we're concerned, the citizens of New Orleans. He abandoned this department.
Ferguson.
And what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay? What is Chief Ferguson doing? He says that the man abandoned his post, okay? But once you see the carnage in the streets and you pretty much see these guys getting locked up and then thrown back, tossed back into the streets with a low bail, the morale starts to shift. And your motivation to do the job that you once thought was a valiant and courageous thing has now dwindled.
Says he's disheartened, but Fanning is too.
It's kind of disheartening when they say that I abandoned them. We are being abandoned. The department is.
Yeah, the department is being abandoned, and they are being defunded, okay? And in lieu of all of this, this mass exodus from the New Orleans Police Department, we have Jason Williams, the district attorney, who is going through a indictment for tax fraud. So he's standing trial. A lot of people are rooting for him. A lot of people are against him. They want to see this man go down because he is one of the reasons why a lot of these super gremlins on Demon Time are getting released back into the public, no questions asked.
Ferguson would not say how many officers were on the street, but multiple law enforcement sources tell us it's somewhere around 430.
You have a responsibility to report responsible information. Let's stop building on the negative. Let's start building on the positive and give this city a sign of hope.
What is positive about New Orleans right now? You're leading the country in murders per capita. You have young black men dragging 74-year-old women, grandmothers, in the streets. I just read a story yesterday about a young super gremlin who killed a 70-year-old man in his car after crashing into him. And he didn't die from the impact of the crash. He died because when they got in the wreck, the super gremlin angrily got out of his car and aired the 70-year-old man out. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Ferguson blamed the media for beating the drum of staffing issues, saying it sends a bad message to citizens and criminals.
Guess what? There isn't a department across this country that is adequately staffed today. So we have to get away from that messaging.
And why is that? Defund the police.
We're doing our very best with everything that we have. We have to think outside of the box. That is why detectives are wearing uniforms. That is why some of our administrative officers are wearing uniforms. That is why we're strategically changing our deployment on a daily basis.
Ferguson said on top of patrol redeployments, the lateral training program will be ready by the end of the year, making it possible for officers from other departments around the state to come to the city without starting training from scratch. But some, like Fanning, who always wanted to be an officer and joined the force as soon as he was old enough, say it will take more than that, more than money even. Some are even leaving for less pay.
You're not going to feel like you might die every single day you go.
In Ferguson's update, he said there are things to be optimistic about. He says state and federal partners have been helping. He announced 122 armed robbery arrests this year, up from last year. 63 homicide arrests also up, and 79 non-fatal shooting arrests, which have actually gone down 10%.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, guys, so the story you've all been waiting for. It's sad to report on this, but we have the brother Jay DeYoungin, a rapper from New Orleans, shot and killed alongside his father in his hometown. I told you guys we live in an op culture. A lot of these super gremlins absolutely have ops everywhere. Fabricated ops, imaginary ops, and these ops have been manifested into real life and turned into real beef with real people. And a lot of these guys, you know, they do things without thinking. Jay DeYoungin is a known pill head, a known lean head. He's a known pill popper. He's a known drug addict. As a matter of fact, there was a interview that he did on DJ Small Eyes where he completely just went to sleep during the interview because he was so high. And I think that's what really got him a lot of buzz, got him really famous. So, you know, these guys, these rappers, man, they're going to continue to get clapped. They're going to continue to get killed because, quite frankly, the community, the black community, the culture is toxic. All right, guys, so we have multiple blogs that are posting on this. I do want to go through the comment section. Then I'm going to read an article about his untimely demise, his untimely slaying, if you will. And most likely the guys who did this will not be caught, will not be captured. As you see in New Orleans, they are having a problem with manpower in the city. So that just goes to show that this may go unsolved. So let's get into it. Somebody says the comments are crazy AF. Wow, I was just saying we lose too many rappers. We got to do better. Prayers up. What do you mean by we got to do better? What do you mean by we got to do better? Because it's like people... it's almost like people don't want that to happen. This person says, black people don't care. We love breaking the law, killing each other, destroying property, and acting ratchet. While doing it, we won't change, but we're still victims. Every cop want to kill us, even though we kill each other more than cops kill us. No, every cop doesn't want to kill us. As a matter of fact, the cops just want to leave the force. They don't even want to protect us because they see that we don't want to protect ourselves. So it's not that the cops want to kill us. The cops actually want to save us. They want to be heroic, and they want to bring change to the community. But what's happening is black people in the community don't want that change. They're demanding defunding the police, and they're demanding people not to snitch, when in all actuality we need more people who are cooperating with the police. Somebody says Cap. They don't believe it, but it's true. He's dead. He wasn't breathing. They said, oh, he was in critical, he's unresponsive. No, he's dead. So is his father, and this is very horrible thing. Somebody said, don't care, young boy just dropped. Wow. Okay. Damn, young N-word can't get a break. He got a break from life. People already doing the mass following. Yes, so they're following him. Young boy already sliding. So I guess he had some beef with young boy, NBA young boy, and maybe them dudes swept him up. I don't know, okay? But I mean, a lot of people mentioning young boy in the comments. I'm not going to put that on him because he just beat a Fed case, which I don't think he should have beat, but he beat it anyway. Jit really can't catch a break. Yeah, I mean, he just got out of prison. I think he was fighting a charge, and now he's gone. He's gone. Somebody say young boy better. So young boy next song finna be lit. So it's obvious that they were beefing. All right, guys. So we're gonna read this article right quick. I'm pretty sure he's dead because he wasn't breathing last time I checked. R.I.P. to the brother. Like I said, you know, hip hop is a very dangerous game, especially for young black men. If you're a white man, you're fine. Okay. Jack Harlow. Yeah. He's not going to have ops. Nobody's going to spin on him. But, the type of energy that a lot of these young black men, super rapper gremlins, if you will, kind of fester up in their lives only leads to their demise. In the recent Twitter talks, Jada Youngin, a well-known rapper, got shot to death. The social media world is raging over what happened to this talented individual. Rapper and singer Javorius Tykees Scott, also known as Jada Youngin, is from the United States. His most popular songs are 23 Island, Elimination, and Ops, which have, as of November 2020, acquired 49, 27, and 26 million plays on SoundCloud, respectively. Born and brought up in Bogalusa, Louisiana, United States, he was 24 years old and quite young to have passed away. Rapper Jada Youngin from Louisiana and his father allegedly were shot today in the area. A helicopter service was used to get him to the hospital. According to close sources, he died on the spot as his vitals could not be felt. As the story is developing, Twitter is currently flooded with tributes and condolences to the rapper and his family. It is quite unfortunate that no one is safe in today's world. Nah, I wouldn't say that. What you guys have to understand, this isn't, oh, no one's safe no more. No, this guy obviously had beef. I'm not going to say that he deserved to die, but he brought a lot of the problems that he has, a lot of the issues that he has onto himself. Like I said, the op culture has consumed these young black men, and they want enemies. They seek out enemies because they think it makes them harder. It makes them more masculine, which it only brings chaos, destruction, and confusion into their lives. But they don't see that until their lives are cut short. Like we did the story on the other rapper who dropped his location and was immediately spun on. From a common man to the most famous individual, anyone can get killed. Okay, I mean, I agree with that, but you can pretty much avoid situations like this if you watch my channel and subscribe to my channel, Black Gen Z Mindset, and my backup channel, BGZM News 17, and if you follow Jen Quavius Jackson's advice, okay? The gun laws of Louisiana say that before applying for a permit to carry a concealed weapon in Louisiana, you must be at least 21 years old. While purchasing a gun is legal till the age of 18, carrying it concealed is not permitted until the age of 21. You must not only be a resident of Louisiana, but also be at least 21 years old. However, in this case, the details are yet to be revealed. Authorities and investigators are doing their work and will only comment on it once they get their hand onto solid evidence. Similarly, the media is also waiting for the authentic details of the case. So what I do want to break down is this last stanza here. The gun laws of Louisiana say that before applying for a permit, I mean, they're trying to blame this on the gun laws. No, this is a black men problem. Black teen problem, young black men problem. I can't stress it enough. This is not, oh well, if the gun laws were different and this, no. most likely the guys who did this were on felony charges. They had previous charges. They weren't allowed to possess a weapon. They weren't allowed to buy a weapon, let alone the ammo. But they still are in possession of those weapons and said ammo or ammunition. So this is not, oh, the guns are no, this is a young black male problem. I'm going to continue to say this and hammer this home because what we are seeing now is no joke. These super rapping gremlins are on demon time.
It's another kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I could still get shot by the police. I could get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.